just mediocre. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 309 of the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and today I want to talk about something that's been surfacing for me lately. The sense that at this day and age, there is simply no space for mediocrity. Before we start, as usual, if you end up liking this episode, remember that liking and subscribing really mean a lot for me. They're just one click, but they really make the difference. Thank you very much for considering it. Being mediocre is just not good enough. In our work, in the creative world, in the way we show up, it feels like being just okay isn't enough. Maybe you felt it too, that subtle pressure creeping in, where doing good enough no longer seems safe, no longer seems sufficient. Why is that? And what do we do with it? I'm going to explore two real-life arenas where this dynamic plays out. One, the professional career world, and two, the world of content creation. And then I'll wind it back into something hopeful, something deeply personal where mediocrity might actually get a pass. So stick with me. Let's start with careers. If you imagine someone 20 or 30 years ago stepping into the work world, the threshold was much, much lower. You could learn by doing. You could grow from curiosity. You could build experience, and at some point, your effort would open doors. Today, the landscape looks different. Formal credentials, higher degrees, sharper specialization seem to dominate the field. And in many, you now need a master's, maybe a PhD, or very niche training just to get your foot in the door. This phenomenon, sometimes called credential inflation or degree inflation, happens when the value of a qualification goes down because so many have it, and the bar keeps moving. And now there is also tech automation, AI, global competition, all of which shrink the number of conventional entry points. So when you show up at work doing the minimum or doing what used to be good enough, you might find yourself invisible. You might find that barely made it is the same as didn't make it at all. The second field is content creation. You might say people have more access than ever. They can start a YouTube channel, launch a podcast like this one, or just publish on Instagram. But with that freedom comes saturation, and the rules have changed. It used to be enough to have a good idea or just be consistent and build an audience slowly. Now, replicating a successful formula, copying what worked for someone else, hoping you'll ride the wave, it often just doesn't work. Unless you elevate your game, production value, differentiation, originality, the bar is higher. Some say the internet demands excellence now, or at least something that stands out. You might think, okay, so I'll just be good. But being good among thousands of good isn't good enough. So the question becomes, if mediocrity is off the table in this space, what choice do you have? I think there is some hope. Because here's the counterbalance. Although there is no room for mediocrity out there is still a space where mediocrity can exist within your personal creative territory, or overall what we like to call hobbies. The place where you're not bound to the industry standard, where you are free to fail, to explore, and to show up imperfectly. If you build from a place of deep personal attachment, from your own voice and motivation, you might just carve a niche that the mainstream doesn't recognize or care about. For example, this podcast itself is not chasing viral growth. It's chasing clarity and trying to achieve a personal goal. Whatever comes with it, just comes with it. It's indeed born from a personal space, a real shower of ideas, and not a real content factory. And that matters. Because when you believe in your own thing, you give it time, you give it iteration, you give it the resilience that the high stakes world expects for excellence. It happened so many times that I doubted what I was doing, and I was maybe discouraged by what I thought I could have gotten from this, or just the idea of trying to do more. But then I looked back on the reason why I was doing this, what actually kept me there, and it all went away because I knew what I was doing. So, yes, maybe there is no space for mediocrity in the race. But maybe that's a good thing, because the race isn't yours anyway. You can pick your own track. And if you commit, you might just find a way to win, not by matching the standard, but by becoming the standard for yourself. Having said that, that was all for today. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you liked today's episode and you got a bit of both. It's a bit of a bittersweet one because the reality is still that, and there is a lot of struggle out there. But I always like also to counterbalance it and give you a space in which you have the space to be yourself, because at the end, that's what really matters. If you made it so far, again, thank you very much. Feel free to interact with this content in any way, shape, or form you like. Liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, whatever you do helps tremendously. And having said that, as usual, stay consistent, stay resilient. This was the Shower Podcast, and I'll see you tomorrow.